I sit now before my computer, gripped by an overwhelming sense of dread. Every moment feels as though it might be my last. My friend sits beside me, and he is the sole reason my life is now in peril. At first glance, it may not make sense, but allow me to explain. It all began earlier today when a friend of mine burst into my home, slamming the door shut behind him. His eyes were wide with terror, his back pressed firmly against the door as he gasped for breath. I asked him what had happened, and he recounted this story. He had been living with his aunt for the past year while his parents were away in Mexico, working as missionaries at a small hospital in the south. The previous night, a man had stumbled into the hospital's entrance, disheveled and frantic, screaming in Spanish, his mind seemingly shattered by fear. They sat him down and gave him water, allowing him to catch his breath. In broken English, he shared his tale. He claimed that his sister had been killed by something he referred to as the White Death. He kept repeating that it would come for him next. Perplexed, the hospital staff asked him what the White Death was. With an expression of indescribable terror, he explained that it was the spirit of a girl who had died many years ago. He said she had taken her own life, consumed by loneliness and hatred for the world. Her loathing was so profound that she sought to erase every trace of her existence. Her desire for obliteration was so intense that she returned as a vengeful spirit, determined to kill anyone who learned of her. "She is a girl, but she is not a girl," the man said. "She is not dead, but she is not alive either. She has cold black eyes that weep blood. She moves without seeming to move, stalking her victims like a predator. She will follow you, even into the safety of your home. You'll never know she's there until you hear her knocking. She knocks once for your skin, which she'll use to patch her decaying flesh, twice for your hair, which she grinds between her teeth, 3 times for your bones, which she shapes into weapons, 4 times for your heart, which she rips from your chest, 5 times for your teeth, which she polishes and keeps in a box, 6 times for your eyes, which she plucks out one by one, and 7 times for your soul, which she devours entirely. Wherever you go, the White Death will find you, and you'll hear her dreadful knocking. You can try to run, but she is faster than any living being. If you flee your home while she knocks, she will follow you wherever you go." The terrified man was convinced that this entity had killed his sister. He tried to report it to the police, but they dismissed him, calling it a mere folktale. He sought refuge in a church, but the priest slammed the door in his face, having seen the White Death trailing him. The man said the priest feared becoming its next victim. As the man cradled his head in his hands, he uttered a chilling warning. The White Death would pursue you endlessly until you told someone else about it. Then it would strike you down and move on to its next victim. After finishing his story, the man stole a car from the hospital's parking lot and disappeared into the night. My friend's parents, upon hearing the man's story, immediately called his aunt to recount the bizarre tale, and asked if she had ever heard of the White Death. She said she had not, and they proceeded to tell her everything the man had said. Later that night, my friend's aunt received a call from the Mexican authorities. They informed her that her relatives had been found dead outside the hospital, their bodies dismembered. Shaken, his aunt phoned him at school the next day to deliver the devastating news. Through tears, she recounted the entire story, describing the strange man and his horrifying tale about the White Death. As soon as the call ended, my friend was consumed by disbelief. It all seemed so unreal. But when he returned home, he found his aunt's front door ajar. Inside, a trail of blood led to the kitchen, where he discovered her mutilated body. Overcome with panic, he fled, running all the way to my house without looking back. As he shared his story, I struggled to comprehend it. In less than 24 hours, his parents and aunt had been brutally killed. It all felt impossible, until we heard a knock on my front door. We've been staring at the door for what feels like an eternity, too paralyzed to open it. The knocking hasn't stopped, growing louder with each passing moment. It's relentless, merciless. The White Death is unstoppable. I believe it wants to drive us mad, to turn us against each other. And it's working. I blame my friend for everything. He should never have told me about her. Now as I sit here with my friend, listening to the deafening knocks, I wish for many things. I wish she had claimed him before he reached my home. If he had never told me, I wouldn't be in danger now. I regret ever meeting him. and I regret this for you too. I'm sorry for making you read this story. I'm sorry for telling you about the White Death, because now that you know about her, she will come for you next.